Bayek's journey through the Hidden Ones takes many unexpected twists and turns, allowing him to truly open up to the audience. The Hidden Ones is a DLC which allows the character to naturally grow through the narrative, but it also shows us what he's learned from the trials of his past, in that its value and importance to the overall arc and context of the story cannot be overstated. So you're probably wondering what Bayek's been up to since Origins. Well, there will be some slight spoilers for Assassin's Creed Origins to follow, so if you've not played the game up to this point, please stop watching the video now. So Bayek is now a fully formed member of the Hidden Ones. He's got new attire, including a familiar red sash and hood. Wherever he walks, legends of his deeds follow, and above all else, he still respects the code of the Medjay, seeking to preserve and protect the innocent at all costs. In the Hidden Ones, Bayek is called to the Sinai by Tahira and must travel across the Red Sea to help with a revolt against the Romans. 2 Hidden Ones were mercilessly killed, and Tahira believes she is responsible as she is the one who trained them. As tensions start to flare, Tahira has allied herself with Gamalat, the rebel leader, in a desperate bid to keep the Hidden Ones together. Now she needs Bayek's help to figure out the next steps, and so Bayek's latest story begins, 4 years after the last. What's immediately special about the Hidden Ones is that those of us who've been playing Assassin's Creed for so many years have all the context. We know who the Hidden Ones are, we know what they become, we know their strengths and weaknesses, we've seen them grow, develop and expand in so many different time periods and territories. But this content helps fill in some of the blanks in that history and show some of the important struggles that had to happen in order to bring that creed together. Things that happen in this content really sow the seeds for everything we've already seen, and that makes it perhaps the most relevant and important piece of Assassin's Creed DLC to date. Above all else though, it shows us the true leadership qualities of Bayek, and for my money, his superiority as a lead in this franchise. After watching Bayek discuss philosophy and faith with a random stranger to inspire them into battle, it not only shows us the kind of man he's become, but it shows us how deeply he believes in the cause. Ezio would try to charm his way out of everything, and that has always given him a special place in most people's hearts, but I feel like Ubisoft have just scratched the surface of Bayek's potential. Not only is he an engaging lead who is often fearless, he is able to make casual, quippy wisecracks and even debate heavy political issues with true understanding and appreciation. I was impressed by how likable Bayek was in Assassin's Creed Origins, though often purely consumed by the grief of his dead son. But after playing the Hidden Ones, I now have a much greater respect and admiration for the man, the myth and the legend. I cannot wait to see what he does next. But what about the content? Is it actually any good? Definitely. There's the entire region of Sinai to explore, which includes the Arasno Nome, the Kleisma Nome and the Madiama Nome. The aim is to defeat Rufio's 3 Roman lieutenants in order to draw out the man himself, but each one has different aspirations and intentions, and so each task will have different conditions for you to fulfill. For instance, one is keeping slaves in a quarry and likes to resort to big public speeches to boast about his qualities. Another hides himself in a fort, dressed like his captains and commanders so as to conceal and protect himself from would-be rebels and assassins. Each approach will need to be different, both dictated by the narrative and also in the game's mechanics. And there are some really challenging conditions to fend through, like deep dark tombs and hilly pyramids and treacherous long-reaching waters. And this also plays into each conquest, really requiring you to establish a strategy before you go charging off head first. As such, you should probably be around level 38 to level 40 before attempting the content. And anyway, by then you will have completed the base game, but you'll also be prepared for some of the challenges ahead, as there'll be lots of fire arrows buzzing around your head, fast and strong opponents with heavy armor, and crazy numbers desperate to pulverize you. Fortunately, the game gives you lots of legendaries and rares to fight back with, but also plenty of crafting materials so you can actually fortify and prepare yourself adequately. There's also lots of side quests to keep you steady and sharp, like extracting a body of a hidden one from an eradication area to ensure a proper burial. There's also recovering the Shard of the Star by deciphering mysteries of hidden scrolls and fighting against the ferocious Shadows of the Scarab, who are Sinai's equivalent of the Phylics. Honestly, it's a fantastic DLC, though some of the initial missions can be a bit frustrating, which gives the impression of being immediately off-putting. Finding the Hidden Ones Bureau, for instance, took me a lot longer than it should have. One of the generals I ended up stumbling into after an alarm was raised rather than actually finding him myself. The tough difficulty can also force a few restarts, and while the narrative is very revealing and interesting, mechanically the content does start to feel a bit predictable, treading overly familiar ground throughout by tasking you to kill one target, move on to the next, kill someone else, rinse, repeat. Origins did a better job of breaking the assassinations up with other activities like investigations and chases, though I guess it did have more time to play with. The story will roughly take about 2 to 3 hours depending on difficulty, but the side quests easily buff this up to around 6 to 7 hours worth of content. With the narrative revelations here, it is well worth the money and certainly does plenty to not only continue Bayek's journey, but give us some subtle clues where he might end up next. Ubisoft seem ready to hand the mantle of the franchise over to Bayek, and after the Hidden Ones, I'm glad to say it is incredibly safe hands. For me, he might even become the greatest lead the games have ever had. Mechanically, the Hidden Ones is also a good challenge with some gorgeous environments and interesting side objectives. The gameplay does border on the predictable at times, but there's a decent amount of content here to make this a very worthwhile bundle for the price. The Hidden Ones is the bridge that not only links some of the biggest events in the series history, but also guides the way to an extremely exciting future, making it perhaps the most important Assassin's Creed DLC to date. So to summarize, on the pro side, Bayek's character development is incredible, there are gorgeous environments to explore, a decent sized campaign and lots of other content to get through, and it really ties the franchise's history together. On the cons, initial missions can be a bit off-putting with some steep difficulty, and campaign is prone to some repetition throughout, but we have settled on giving Assassin's Creed Origins, The Hidden Ones, an 8.5 out of 10. We tested this on a PlayStation 4. Thank you very much for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you've played any of the Assassin's Creed Origins DLC, let us know in the comment section below. If you don't have the season pass yet and you're on the fence about getting it, or if you purchased it and you still haven't managed to download it, or you regret your purchase, let us know. We'd love to hear from you because we are really interested to see where Assassin's Creed Origins DLC is going to go from here. So we're looking forward to covering the rest of the content and then looking forward to seeing what might be coming next. But for now, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.